shock, you can tell I'm on that pin again. Victims are these synonyms, analogies, and metaphors be bouncing back and forth. It's like you listening to Wimbledon. Sound bites crippled it. Slick inside your glycerin. See, this is my zone, and I would welcome y'all to visit it. I was given a vision, but I'm not a damn Avenger son. But I got bits of banner for those out to flip my mission. Extension of greatness, that's on my latest feet. Taking everything from A to Z, and you can thank the alphabet for me.
What's going on, world? It's your boy VO, the face back, the buckets in the building. We here for a special Tuesday edition of what we do when we're doing what we like to do. We about to get this popping, man. Shout out to my co-host in the building. What's going on, Silly C?
What up? It's your boy.
It's your boy. And what's going on, Jay Reeves, the gambler?
Yo, let's go!
Let's go. Well, then we'll get it popping, man. He said, let's go. We about to get it jumping. We going right into the play-in games that's going to lead to the playoffs. Today we are going to feature the Eastern Conference, and we're going to make our Eastern Conference picks. And that to even get that going, we're going to have to get that going with our play-in picks. So we'll go ahead and get this popping with the number 9 versus the number 10 game. And we got the Indiana Pacers hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Jay Reeves, what is Vegas saying about that one?
They currently have this number sitting at -3 for the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers is a hot mess right now. I would like to hear some information on why I should be picking them.
Yeah, it is tough, man, because the injury report, I believe, is reflecting a ton of injuries. Who's all questionable, Jay Reeves? I'm pretty sure you know that.
Well, currently today, they had Jeremy Lamb listed as a game-time decision, and then all of a sudden he was just listed as out. Malcolm Brogdon, game-time decision. Domantas Sabonis, game-time decision. Aaron Holiday, which you would think that he's not that significant to the team, but he actually plays a lot of minutes. Yeah, he's a game-time decision. That's a lot of people on the injury report.
Yeah, it's a ton of people. Plus, they're already down. They're already like working with their left hand. They're shorthanded. They've been missing Turner, Warren, and Lamb for a majority of the season. And Lamb's already been ruled out. But Brogdon, Holiday, and Sabonis are all popping up on the injury report. Cody, what do the numbers tell you about this game?
The numbers, are sitting at -3 for Indiana. And the over-under's at 227 currently. I'm not liking Indiana and their chances with everyone being hurt. I definitely have to think Charlotte's going to make the upset in Indiana to go and bring it home.
All right, man. So Cody's going to go ahead and go with Charlotte in this case. Jay Reeves, do any of those numbers scare you, change your mind, or make you change the decision on who you got winning this play-in game?
The over-under, you said, was set at 227?
227 and a half?
Yes, sir.
Was it looking like a high-paced game, Cody?
Right now, this is actually looking like a pretty high-paced game. Charlotte averages about 101 points per 100 possessions, and Indiana is more actually a slower paced team. They're averaging about 99 points per 100 possessions. So with that being said, it is going to be a slower paced game. So I'm wondering why the actual over-under so high. So I would actually go with the under on the over and under.
Yeah, and it's going to be playoff atmosphere, playoff intensity, playoff defense, winner go home type mentality out there. So I do believe that even tone those points down even a little bit more. I would definitely take the under as far as those points goes with a close, grimy game that could be like 98 to 86. This might be a 1990 style game with the low scoring, the well contested. Even with the injuries, I'm going to take the home team just because I believe it's going to be all hands on deck. Even with the injury report, everybody's saying game time decision as far as Sabonis, Aaron Holiday, as well as Malcolm Brogdon. So I'm going to take the home team. I do believe all hands will be on deck. TJ McConnell and everybody got some necessary experience this year. So I will go with the Pacers. Cody took the Hornets. Jay Reeves, will you break the tie?
Yeah, man. And I know it's like set towards the under, but I actually think this is going to be an up-tempo type of game. And I think Charlotte is going to actually come prepared for this game. And the young boys are about to dog walk the Pacers. I'm going with the Charlotte Hornets in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got youth on their side. We'll see if they can get the basketball playoff gods on their side and keep it pushing. We'll go ahead and go into the next game. In that scenario, I got the Pacers advancing. Jay Reeves and Cody both have the Charlotte Hornets advancing. So,
Hold on. Before we go to the next game, I'm sorry, guys. Can I hit you with a props versus ops? I got the boy Terry Rozier going up against Karis LeVert, and they're both actually pretty close. So I got the number sitting at 29.5 for both of them. Which one you think is the props or the ops?
Man, I would probably lean more into the direction of Terry Rozier, man. He's definitely, I think even he was voted today on the ESPN.com article that I was reading as the best value pick of the entire draft. So Terry Rozier, I'm going to lean with him. He's been having a good season. I did not pick him in this year's draft because he burned me last year. Thought he'd be a star out there, but Graham came on strong. So, but even though I didn't draft him, I'm still going to lean with Terry Rozier over Karis LeVert. Cody, what are the numbers telling you on those particular two players?
Well, currently I'm seeing Rozier's project for 25-4, and Levert's projected for Levert is projected for 19 or about 25-5. In this case, I still think if Levert plays, I think he has a chance to be the actual props here. I think Levert's the props.
Definitely, man. We defer on that one, but I do think that's an interesting conversation to have. It's going to be a good game, man. So excited the playoffs here. I know y'all can feel the energy. I was watching a hype video, and I'm ready to go. So we'll just keep it pushing from that 9 and 10 matchup into the 7 and 8 matchup. And man, this is one team that we didn't expect to be here against another team that we didn't expect to be here. So let's go ahead and tell me what you think about this upcoming game we got between the Boston Celtics and a Washington Wizards struggling for the last playoff spot.
Oh, man, they got Boston sitting at -2. I don't know if that number has shifted, but I got it at -2 earlier for Boston. I don't know, man. It's just Washington has been on such a roll. And I just want to let you know, these games are some of the toughest games to cap, actually. It seems like a little trickery to get our money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Washington has been on a roll. Boston has been ass, and I just feel like something has to give here. Like, I just feel like collectively they can all pull it together for this one game, and they're favorites at home. So I would have to pick Boston here, man.
Yeah, man, Boston's been letting me down all year. It's a shame that they're in the spot. Definitely one of the most disappointing teams of the year. Cody, what do you think about that game?
This one's also an interesting one because there's a lot of injuries with this game too. You have Tatum, who's questionable. You have Williams, who's probable. He's probable. Smart's probable. Fournier's probable. So right now, I'm actually kind of liking them at home. I have it -2.5 right now, but Washington's been on a roll. So I'm gonna roll the dice. I did with Charlotte, so I'm going with Washington to go ahead and beat Boston at home.
Yeah, man, Boston's been such a disappointing team, especially when it comes to gambling on them. I don't know about the point spread. I don't know about anything. However, I'm going to go with the Washington Wizards to advance and then the Boston Celtics to go into a playoff game or a play-in game with the Pacers, who I chose earlier. Jay Reeves, what do you think about that game?
Well, I mean, if that happens, then I would have to say Boston definitely advances.
Yeah, against the Pacers. What about Boston against the
Or
Hornets?
I'm thinking Boston advance against either one of them.
Yeah, and you chose the Wizards in this situation, right?
No, I didn't. You did. I chose Boston in this situation.
Definitely. All
So I
right,
think,
man.
but that's the whole thing. Like, if the Wizards lose to Boston and they go and they face Indiana or Charlotte, either way it goes, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be Washington and Boston.
All right. Yeah, I mean, even though we have it a little different, I do got both of those teams advancing in there. Being the 8 seed or being the 7 seed has big implications because that means you're either going to take on Brooklyn or you're going to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. I have the Celtics at the 8 seed and I have the Wizards at the 7 seed.
And with me,
Cody?
you could just flip flop it around. So I'd have
Yeah.
Boston at 7 and Washington at 8.
All right, man. Well, that's a crazy little scenario we got going on, but we do have our 8 teams. So we'll go ahead and get into some of these playoff breakdowns. And I will start with some of the teams that were already seeded for their spots. We'll go ahead and go with the 4 and 5 matchup of the New York Knicks taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Jay Reeves, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, well, currently they have this at a series price. So you could just pick the whole series. They have Milwaukee minus 310, and they have Miami plus 240. That is a major difference there. With that being said, man, I really think Milwaukee takes this. This has been a different team since they acquired Bobby Portis and the boy PJ Tucker. And then with Bryn Forbes coming off the bench, it's not really about the star players so much. It's about the key players and what your bench is looking like. And they got a pretty solid bench. And I think that Milwaukee, even after getting upset last year in the bubble by Miami, I think they get some sweet revenge right here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do like that game between Milwaukee and the Heat. Cody, what do you think? What do the numbers say about that?
Yeah, I do like that game as well. I have it right now at Milwaukee. They finished the season with 46 wins, and what do we have Miami at? They finished with 40. I think actually, and head to head, do you have the head to head? What was their head to head?
It was 2-1 for Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think Miami really has a chance in this case. They got lucky last year, so I do feel that Milwaukee does get their sweet revenge and wins this one.
Yeah, all right. So we're all going to go ahead and lean with Milwaukee in this case because that's who I'm going to lean with. But we will go into the next game, which is the Knicks versus the Hawks. Who do you got in that game?
Well, they currently have the Hawks for the series price sitting at minus 104. And for the Knicks, it's at minus 118. Throughout the season, these teams played 3 times, and the Knicks won all 3. It was some tough battles out there. I don't know, man. This one's a little tricky because I believe the boy DeAndre Hunter is back for the Atlanta Hawks, and he was robbing to Trae Young's Batman. So with that being said, it's like a little bit more firepower coming off the bench. Danilo Gallinari, Clint Capella, John Collins, the Bogdanovic brother, whatever the hell his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. This one's going to be tough. I need to hear some numbers.
Yeah, man. Cody can pull up the numbers on the Knicks and the Hawks, but I
Yeah,
can
I have.
go ahead and start with some numbers. The Knicks are 3-0 this regular season against the Hawks, and they've been dominating them in dominating fashion, beating them. Last year, they also beat them the day after Valentine's Day and the day after 420 on April 21st, winning all games by double digits. So, I'm definitely going to take the Knicks to out physical them, Tom Thibodeau, and that defensive strategy and that play hard strategy and the resurgence of Derrick Rose. I'm going to go with the Knicks to advance against the Hawks. Silly C, what do the numbers say, and who do you got in that game?
Yeah, currently I see they have the numbers set at -2.5 for the Knicks, which I have to agree with them. I don't think Atlanta's going to have enough firepower for them. I mean, Randall's been dominating all year. I feel like this is going to be a continuation of that. Um, they both, you know, gave some really hard fought battles in the season, but I feel still New York's just a better team. I picked New York.
All right, so we have difference. Jay Reeves, you can go ahead and let us know who you're going to choose in this game. Both me and Silly are going with New York. Who do you got in this one?
Man, I probably just have to be in agreement. To be honest, earlier today, I put a half unit, half a hundo down on the series price for the New York Knicks. -118, put down 50, bringing me back 42. So let's go.
Definitely, man. I think that's a safe bet to make, and I believe it will be prosperous. So currently, we have the Knicks moving on and the Bucks moving on, and everybody is in agreement with this. We debated a lot about the play-in games, but I do kind of believe that they'll be inconsequential with their upcoming opponents, man. So we have different teams at the eighth team, different team at the seventh team, but we'll just say we got the 76ers taking on play in team A. Jay Reeves, who are you going to take, 76ers or play in team A?
76ers, watch them, whoever it is.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it really is inconsequential. Silly C. Who do you think you're going to take? Are you going to take your play-in game people, or are you going to take the number one seed, the Philadelphia 76ers?
Ooh, I don't know. I really like Washington. I really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they're gonna get washed by Philadelphia. We'll
The
call it
magic stops here. The magic stops here.
Yeah, well, I have the Celtics against them, and by then I believe they'll have like Tatum ready to go. Marcus Smart will be ready to go. And in that case, I'm definitely gonna go with the 76ers still to win. Probably a sweep. I don't even think a gentleman's sweep. They're gonna disrespect them. 4-0. Philadelphia advances to play the New York Knicks. Next game, we got the number 2 seed. I got Washington here, and you guys have the Celtics here. Do you think anybody will fare well against the Brooklyn Nets, Jay Reese?
The Brooklyn Nets will wash them, whoever the hell they play.
Yeah, see, Cody, you gonna disagree?
No, absolutely not. Whoever goes that way is getting washed.
Washed.
Definitely, man. So we down to all chalk, man. We do have the top 4 seeds remaining. That hardly ever happens. There's always an upset. So it's just crazy that even though we took different routes to get here, we're all still here with the top 4 in play, and we'll dive into the final 4 next. What's going on, world? It's your boy VO the Face. We're going to go into the semifinal rounds of the bracket, and we got the 76ers taking on the New York Knicks. Jay Reeves, what do you think?
Oh, now this is where we get into crunch time here. New York has had a nice run, but I think the city of brotherly love gets it done, man. I'm going with Philly here, man.
Yeah. Man, it's tough. Like, it's been heartbreak after heartbreak for the Knicks. It's been heartbreak after heartbreak for the process. Every time they got the process going, there's a little kink in the chain. And I think that's just part of the process. I think the process is going to be slowed down. I do got this as like a 6-game series, but I'm going to take the Knicks 4-2 and advancing to
Whoa!
the Eastern Conference the Eastern Conference Finals against to be announced, and we'll see how that one goes. Silly, see who you got advancing out of this round: 76ers or the New York Knicks.
Well, this one is going to be interesting. I like this game. I like it a bunch. I think the Knicks, they're a tough team, and I think that they've done a lot. They've done a lot of good things for a lot of good people. But I think this is
What?
this is when
Nigga, what?
this is when that stops. I'm gonna go ahead and say Philadelphia. Now I'm not gonna call this a sweep, but I'll definitely say it's probably more like a 4-2 on the other way. So I'm flip flopping your little projection.
Yeah, man. Well, go ahead.
Let's elaborate a little bit. He said they've done a lot of good things for a lot of good people. With that being said, New York was the number 1 team this year against the spread. They covered a lot of games this year. The number 1 team covered a lot of games this year. Man, Philadelphia's about to crack that Liberty Bell all over New York.
I don't see it though, man, because you're talking about I'm gonna dive a little deeper. Like I know you said we're gonna deep dive, but you like to dive into the shallow end. See, I'm over here in the 12 feet. You hear me? Like so, we'll dive a little bit deeper. Like, do you guys know who the assistant coach on those Loud City teams were? They had offense and whatnot, but they need to bring in somebody tough-minded. They need to bring in a defensive specialist. They brought in Tom Thibodeau, and Tom Thibodeau has worked behind the scenes with Doc Rivers, knows how he game plans, knows how he strategies. Doc Rivers is starting to slowly become choke Rivers, and every time his river gets to flowing, like it gets dammed up. I think Tom Thibodeau will be the dam in his river this time, and I think he's going to give him the blues. This is an old school matchup. This matchup has happened a ton of times before when Thibodeau was coaching the Bulls and when Doc was coaching the Celtics. Man, these people know a lot about each other. They know how they play games. They know that they play against the opponents. And I'm looking forward to seeing just the coaching strategies in this. Cody, what do you think about your numbers or the numbers outside of just the coaching and the strategy of the game?
I like the numbers. I like Thibodeau. I like
Doc Rivers.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
He said okay and then left.
So yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying. Back to what,
punch back in at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Cody's back. But keep your good point, Jerry. Sit on it.
Oh yeah, like I was saying, they're gonna crack that Liberty Bell right over the Statue of Liberty's head. Holla.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go right into the next game, and we got the visiting Milwaukee Bucks going into Brooklyn to take on the Nets. Jay Reeves, what is Vegas telling you about that?
Vegas is telling me that Brooklyn is about to wax Milwaukee Bucks.
The odds on favorite to win the entire thing, the Nets are not really just a safe bet, but they seem like the likely bet. Cody, do you see any reason that you would choose the Bucks over the Nets in this situation?
I like the Bucks. I think they have a really good chance to have a really strong team. Brooklyn looks up and down here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is going to be where they do. I think this is going to go down. I think this is going to go to like a game 7.
Definitely.
And I think the Nets are going to win this series.
Yeah, dude.
He always takes me one place, and I think he's leaning there. And then
Yeah.
he goes all the way left.
Well, like with my thing, like as far as like how I feel about it, I'm sitting here like, man, like do the Nets have a person to stop a big man? And not only do the Milwaukee Bucks have big men, they have them in Drodes, and they have like the Lopez, they have Giannis, they have I apologize. Chris Middleton, who is a large guy, and a
Bobby
big
Portis.
point guard. Bobby Portis, they have big point guard, and Drew Holiday as well, and DiVincenzo. So it's going to be exciting to see that depth take on that much talent. But I do think the defense will win the day and push it to a game 7. And then this is the bucket list. So I do believe the bucket makers will go ahead and prevail. I got the Brooklyn Nets advancing to play the New York Knicks, who I had coming out the other side of the bracket. Jay Reeves, who do you got advancing in this game?
As far as Milwaukee and Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, with all this being said, it just seems like Milwaukee has been on the doorstep for the last couple years, man. They just keep knocking, but nobody's home. Could this be the year that they get over the hump? I just feel like they have a lot of continuity, and they play together a lot on the court, man. So it's like they're real familiar with each other. And you look on the other side with the Tres Amigos, they really haven't really played that many games together.
Yeah, they don't have that chemistry.
But when they do, they look like a Harlem Globetrotter team. I think the Nets get it done in 6.
All right, man. So you just going all chalk all the way. Is that because the Eastern Conference is that heavy, or what is making up your mind that way? But you got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the 76ers. I do got a minor upset in the semifinals with the Battle of New York going down in the Eastern Conference. Cody has the same thing as you with the 76ers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. We'll go ahead and push it into our Eastern Conference final preview. And then it's slightly different for each of us. It's the Battle of New York, man. It's the 5 boroughs. It's the bridges. It's Queens versus Brooklyn. It's Manhattan versus Brooklyn. It's Madison Square Garden versus Barclays. And I got the Brooklyn Nets advancing. I'm going to go with the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference to advance to the finals. Jay Reeves, who do you got out of your matchup, which is the number 1 seed 76ers hosting the Brooklyn Nets?
This would actually be the game where Doc Rivers chokes like he always does with his coaching. Where Brooklyn at? Brooklyn on minds all day long.
All right, so we both got the same person advancing. You finally went against the chalk and took the underdog in the series. Not saying underdog, but the lower seeded team. Cody, who do you got, the number 1 seed team, the 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets?
I think the 76ers, they're also a good team. Do a lot of good stuff for good people. But yeah, when it comes to going up against, the android of the basketball, league, the 3 monsters, I don't think they're gonna have enough to get it done. I think really the old players are gonna show up here, like Blake Griffin, the Jay Reeses, and I think this is easily Brooklyn's gonna go ahead and get past this and win this
All
one.
right, man. All 3 of us have the same Eastern Conference champions. We might be right. We might be wrong. That is the lowest shot on it, but that's just us going against the playoffs in the East. And when y'all going against the sportsbook, the bucket list has your back. Let go.
Perfect.